Blitz coming. Morton gets rid of it, and it's overthrown, incomplete. He was trying to hit Carter, but pressure in the backfield. There is a penalty marker down. Jalen Garner hit Baron Morton. The flag is near the goal line. The officials are talking with Willie Fritz, which would lead you to believe it's against Texas Tech. You wonder if there was OPI down there.
Might call this on Caleb Douglas.
There was a pick play set
Pass
up.
interference. Offense number 4. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
And Texas Tech will send on the field goal team.
I think this is actually 5. Caleb Douglas. Near side. You're going to see if he's going to work right in here. And they're going to get him for offensive pass interference. Not a whole lot there. Doesn't matter. Declined, and it's a huge stop for this Houston defense to force the field goal attempt.
Stone Harrington on for a 36-yard field goal try. 4 for 4 this year, including a 58-yarder in Salt Lake City. Houston blocked 2 kicks last week. Couldn't get to that one. And Texas Tech is on the board, 3-0. Dave Pash, Dusty Dvorak here in the booth. Taylor McGregor down on the field. Sold out stadium here in Houston for a big game in the Big 12. Only matchup of unbeaten teams week 6. And the offense for Texas Tech is good, Dusty. No surprise. That's how the Red Raiders roll. But their defense looks different, is different this year.
It appears to be elite. They need some key additions to the defensive line, and they have been outstanding. 2nd best rush defense in college football, and can get after the quarterback as good as anybody. Whether I played against Texas Tech in the early 2000s or I've been covering them for almost 2 decades, it's the best Texas Tech defense that I've seen so far through 4 games. And that balance, Dave, of the firepower offensively, the defense they have, it's why they're most people's pick to win the Big 12. And with the way they're constructed, they continue to play well, get better. It could be an interesting team to watch, even in the college football playoff.
They signed 21 transfers, many of them on the defensive line, and they targeted a lot of guys that were captains elsewhere. This will be a touchback, and Houston will start on the 25. And Connor Weigman, the Texas A&M transfers, played in a lot of big games. He was 2-1 against top 10 teams last year at Texas A&M before he lost his starting job to Marcel Reed. Overall at A&M, 3-2 against ranked teams as a starter.
And he's been a true dual threat. It really picked up his ability to run with the football. You're going to see some design quarterback run. They love to move the pocket, play action boots, sprint outs. He's been very accurate on the move, and he's done a really nice job here to start this season as the quarterback here in Houston.
Weigman, and that's a long throw, trying to hit Connors as the quarterback Weigman was surrounded. And the ball's recovered by Texas Tech. They're saying that was a backward pass, and it's Texas Tech ball. It skipped to Roberts. The ruling on the field is that pass was thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
Field is a backward pass recovered by the defense. 1st down, Texas Tech.
We just talked about Weigman's experience playing in big games. You can't make that mistake inside your own 20.
No, you can't. It is very close, Dave. When he releases this football, he's going to be standing right around the 18. Where does the ball come down? When it initially comes out of his hands, it looks forward. Where's this ball hit on the ground?
But it looks like they got it right on the field.
It is close. I mean, it is absolutely as close as it can get.
Let's bring in Jerry McGinn, our rules expert. Jerry, because this is called on the field a backwards pass, how does this get overturned?
Well, replay that's a good question. Replay is going to have a great angle at this to see that it was forward. They're going to need indisputable video evidence. At first look, it does appear to be just slightly forward. You know, you really don't want to give, cheap turnovers, but this is extremely close. I think they're going to stay with the call on the field.
What's interesting too is by blowing it dead and not letting it play out, because they blew it dead initially, you don't get the return. Roberts may have just run into the end zone with that for Texas Tech, but it was already blown dead at that point. Then they changed the ruling to a backwards pass and a live ball.
And this has been a Houston team that has been so good taking care of the football. Just one turnover coming into this ball game.
After review, the ruling on the field of a backward pass recovery by the defense is upheld. First down, Texas Tech.
It was so close. I don't think there was any way. You said it perfectly, Dave, and bringing Jerry in. They could not overturn that call. That matches the turnovers for the season here on the opening play offensively for Houston.
Yeah, they had none the first 3 games. Then Weigman last week threw an interception against Oregon State. And so Texas Tech will have the ball at the 16-yard line of Houston to start this drive. And Morton rips it, and it's dropped at the 10 by Caleb Douglas. He was thinking touchdown before he secured the ball.
And never looked that football in, Dave. He was checking on the defender, eyes into the end zone. That's second drop already. Had one already by Aiken, now one by Douglas. And we see Will Hammond coming in this game. Very mobile quarterback, Dave. They love to run the football with Will Hammond.
He came in for the injured Morton against Utah and went 13 of 16, 2 touchdowns. It was a 3-point game, and they pulled away in part because of him. And design run here for Hammond. And push back after a gain of about a yard or 2. Let's check in with Taylor.
Dave, I talked to Joey McGuire before the game, and he told me they were so impressed with Will Hammond that they put a different package in for him. Not just run like you would expect, but you could also see some passing from him at points in this game, too.
Well, he's the future here in Lubbock. The right now is Baron Morton, but there's no doubt, Taylor, we're going to see some of Will Hammond, and he's not just back there to run the football. Boy, this would be a huge stop, Dave, if Houston can come up with one here on 3rd down.
Morton's pass is almost picked off on the goal line by Kentrell Webb. And so another field goal attempt. Good hold by Houston.
Pretty good pressure off the side. Eddie Walls is going to come here, and just a drop here. Goes through the hands of Cameron Dickey. Cameron Dickey, they get the matchup they want, a linebacker. His pass a little bit hot and goes right through his hands. And a huge stop there for Houston.
So Texas Tech's going to bring on a different kicker for this one, Upton Bellingfont. It was a 33-yard attempt. Harrington just made a 36-yarder a minute ago. So it's 6-0, but if you're Houston, you got to feel really good, because you let Texas Tech march down the field on the first drive, then you cough it up inside your own 20 on the second possession. Get to that. Get back. Can you guys show that last play just in
ESPN College Football is presented by Experian, your big financial friend, a BFF for life. When you're tackling life's big financial moments, it's good to have a big financial friend on your team. Ready to take control of your finances? Download the Experian app now.
Well, Cameron Dickey, as we had a chance to look at this one more time, really should have caught this ball. It would have been first down for Texas Tech. Instead, they had to settle for a field goal after Houston turned it over on its own 16-yard line. So it's 6-0 Red Raiders, trying to get to 5-0. Last time they started 5-0 was back in 2013. They went 7-0 that year. Their highest ranking that season was number 10. They're currently 11th. They're in the top 25 preseason, number 23. First time since 2008. Here's Mekhi Muse on the return and in trouble, and down he goes. He got walloped back at the 13-yard line. Big hit by A.J. McCarty. Time now for Dusty's defensive dude.
Well, we've seen one already. Carlos Allen Jr. He has been outstanding for Houston. He's got big, heavy hands, sheds blocks, plays down the line of scrimmage, a tackling machine on the inside of his Houston front. And Jacob Rodriguez, one of the best linebackers in college football, solid tackler, and he has perfected the punch out as he's got 8 forced fumbles for his career and accounted for 13 takeaways for this Texas Tech defense.
Back to throw is Weigman on first down. There's a penalty flag down and a catch made, and now a second flag. Big hit by Lee Hunter in the backfield on Weigman, the quarterback. Hunter lost his helmet in the process. Gain of about 8 yards if the play holds. It was Koziel, the tight end, on the catch. He is second among tight ends nationally in receptions with 23 coming in. Again, 2 penalty markers down. Lee Hunter, one of those outstanding defensive lineman transfers for Texas Tech. He came over from UCF, also spent time at Auburn. David Bailey, another talented transfer from Stanford. Romello Height, Auburn and USC. Skylar Gill Howard, Northern Illinois. All highly
fouls
rated
on both
transfers.
teams on the play. Personal foul, face mask, offense, number 59. Personal foul, continued participation without a helmet on the play, defense number 2. These penalties offset. Replay first down.
So Demetrius Hunter, the center, he's going to get his hands in the face of Lee Hunter. It's going to knock his helmet off. And then Lee Hunter continues throughout the play and gets the hit on Connor Weigman, and that draws the second flag. And that's just to protect the player who lost the helmet as much as anything, Dave.
And a free play here, offside on Bailey. Weigman taking a shot. And it's ruled incomplete, trying to hit Amari Thomas. Do you ever lose your helmet and then go whack the quarterback in the stomach? I mean, Lee Hunter there without a lid got a shot.
Offside, defense number 31. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
I have not, Dave, but I can tell you, if I had my helmet knocked off and I was in on my pass rush, I think instinctively I would have done exactly what Lee Hunter did. Tough to throttle it down when you're so engaged and trying to get after the quarterback. This is going to be a matchup all game. This offensive line of Houston has struggled. This is one of the premier pass rushes in college football.
So 1st and 5 after the offside penalty, and they're going to run Connors, and there's nothing off the left side. There's Jacob Rodriguez, preseason Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year that Dusty just highlighted, and his defensive dudes on the takedown.
Well, he's just so instinctive, Dave. Watch him just wait. He's patient. He knows that D-line's going to eat up blocks. Great field, downhill, and a good firm tackle on Dean Connors.
Got 7 takeaways this year, and in his career he's forced 8 fumbles. That's among the nation's leaders. Former walk-on high school quarterback, turning one of the best linebackers in the country. Connors gets maybe a yard. That's going to bring up 3rd down. 3rd down at about 3.
He is the unquestioned leader of this defense. There's his wife, Emma Rodriguez, US Army Blackhawk pilot.
Here we go!
She might be the only better person in the stadium than her husband, Jacob.
And as you can hear, she's mic'd up today. Weigman on third down, and a dangerous pass with Rodriguez hovering around. Koziel who caught it and then turned it over, recovered by Jordan. Another turnover by Houston.
Boy, they're going to look at this, Dave. I wonder if his knee is down. Going to see Koziel just sit right here. He's so good sitting in space. And you're going to see 13 Ben Roberts come over and apply a big hit. But where's the knee in conjunction when that ball comes out? It is really close. Knee.
Here's my question.
That ball looks like it's already coming out before his knee hits.
Well, Dusty, my question is, did he ever actually have possession of the ball? Did he actually catch the football?
Did not pluck it clean. Boy, it is close. So there's two things to look at here, right, Dave? Exactly like you said. Does he have possession? Is it a catch? And then if it is deemed a catch, is that ball moving before the knee comes out?
It looks easier when you see it in slow motion,
right.
But did he actually secure it? Let's bring in Jerry McGinn. I'm sure they're looking at both those things. Jerry, how did you see it?
So from the views that we have right now, it appears that he never had control of the ball, and that they're going to overturn this to an incomplete pass. He never made a football move. I see the defender trying to grab at it, but in the meantime, the ball seemed to appear to be slipping. So they'll go back to the previous spot.
And you see they're juggling, and again in slow motion, it looks like he's got it, but did he ever actually make the football move? And then the strip comes in from Roberts. It would be fourth down if this is overturned, and Houston would punt, but certainly much better than giving Texas Tech the ball again inside your 30-yard line. I would imagine this is going to be overturned. Look pretty clear that he never had possession initially.
After review, the ruling on the field has been changed. Result of play is an incomplete pass. Fourth down.
And so Houston will punt it away on fourth down at about 3.
I do want to just point out, Ben Roberts comes in and he punches that out. You know, that's something that they really work on at Texas Tech. We talked about it with Jacob Rodriguez, but it's defense wide. You know, Shieldwood is big on doing whatever you can to create takeaways, and already we see Ben Roberts, though it's an incompletion, at the end of that play punches that out with his left hand.
So Coy Aiken is the punt returner. Tristan Gentry didn't make the trip. He's normally the return man for Texas Tech. A short punt by Doherty, and Aiken has trouble with it. Ball's on the ground. A flag's down as well, and it looks like Houston has it. We just mentioned Aiken was back there returning punts. He's not normally the guy. Jamal Shaw comes up with the ball for Houston, but let's see what the flag's about. A flag-filled, fumbled-filled first quarter here in Houston.
Aiken initially calls for fair catch, but he bobbles the return. Then that initial defender gets shoved in the back.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team number 18. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So they say Kobe Young interfered with Coy Aiken.
Calls fair catch, and there's a bobble.
How is that kick catch interference?
We got to bring in Jerry on that. And then also, it was a push in the back, Jerry. I'm a little confused on this call.
Yeah, I would have hoped that one of the side officials would have came in and helped out on this, because it appears that the Houston player is being blocked and forced into the receiver. So that should wipe out the kick catch and interference. And I would like to have called it a stay. Houston's ball.
Yeah, Jerry, that's a big miss by this crew. Out in space, Jacoby Williams wrapped up for no gain. You see the push, and again you see the bobble initially by Aiken. On second down, a big hit by Eddie Walls on Williams. Again, no gain, so it's going to bring up third down. Walls has had a nice season at defensive end for the Cougars.
He's had a nice start to this game. He's going to work inside of Terrence Carter Jr. Deliver a big hit. Setting up third and long. Can they apply any pressure on Baron Morton?
Tech is 0 for 3 so far on third down. Morton facing pressure. Gets out of there. Gonna run for it. There's a flag down, and Morton finally upended short of the line to gain by McCutcheon. Flag back in the backfield at the 47. It was a gain of about 7 for Morton. But it's coming back.
Holding. Offense number 79. 10-yard penalty. Replay third down.
I think they're going to accept the penalty because if they don't, it's 4th and 3, and Texas Tech's going to go for it.
That's exactly right, and it's the right call. Well, the coverage down the field, Dave, was so good. Left side of your offensive line going to draw the flag, but the coverage, and Baron Morton did a good job just to not get sacked. He waited, tried to find something to come open. The downfield coverage, supreme there for Houston.
Morton taking a shot on 3rd and 20, and wide open downfield is Caleb Douglas for the first down catch. Maybe some confusion in the Houston secondary. A gain of 33.
Well, outside, this is a blown coverage. Will James, watch him work inside. Leaves Douglas wide open down the field. And boy, you cannot misidentify where Caleb Douglas is.
More to the air again. Single coverage going for Douglas in the end zone, and incomplete. Zelmar Vetter in coverage against Caleb Douglas.
Zelmar Vetter is going to come in with the left hand at the last moment. Really good coverage. He's in ideal position. That ball, even though he gets his hand there, that ball goes right through the hands of Caleb Douglas. This is several times now we've seen Baron Morton passes just dropped here from these Tech wide receivers.
Yeah, had Cameron Dickey drop run on third down in the last possession. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Jacoby Williams with a crease inside the 15 and down to the 11 for 14 yards and a first down.
John Carlos Miller is going to set this up. Good block here, and then you're going to see the pull, get outside. Big hole opens up off the left side. When they bring in 9, John Carlos Miller, really good point of attack tight end. And then Jacob Ponton getting out in front. And Jacoby Williams, that change of pace back. He is so good in space, shifty, very quick. And a nice pickup there for another first down.
They're replacing Taj Brooks, their all-time leading rusher. And also Quentin Joyner, a USC transfer, got hurt in camp. Williams dragged down at the line of scrimmage by Kentrell Webb. Gain of a couple on the play. Both teams 4-0, 1-0 in conference play. Only battle of undefeated teams on the schedule here in week 6. And just an awful start for Houston. They have -6 yards, but they're only down 6-0 for now.
Defense has really stood firm here in the red zone. Can they make it a third time on this possession?
Morton fires complete. Big hit on Miller by Jordan Allen, knocking him down at about the 6-yard line to bring up third down.
Second big pop from Jordan Allen. We saw it earlier on Dickey. Now a nice job on Miller over the middle. And they come up with another big stop on third down here inside the red zone. Mentioned it earlier, but Terrence Carter Jr. Day, they love to locate their tight end in the red zone.
He's right next to the left tackle. Morton pulls it back, throws, incomplete. tried to hit Douglas, and again it's veteran coverage, and another stop by Houston on third down. And here comes the field goal team again, says Joey McGuire.
Tight coverage by Vetter outside. It's going to be a slant, and he's in perfect position. Gets the right hand around the body, knocks that ball out. Boy, bend but don't break mentality here for this Houston defense early.
They got 122 yards of offense, yet they've had to settle for 3 field goal attempts. This will be a 23-yarder from Harrington. They're rotating the kickers right now. And the Red Raiders lead it 9-0. Well, nothing going Houston's way so far in the game, with the exception of on third down defensively. 9-0 Texas Tech. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, and Taylor McGregor in Houston. So you got -6 rushing yards, only 1 pass attempt, and that was a backwards pass. It was a fumble. They lost 6 yards and turned it over. But Texas Tech 0 for 2 on touchdowns in the red zone. It has settled for 3 field goals, and it's 9-0. Here's Muse on the return for Houston. And Muse gets wrapped up at about the 24-yard line as we go to the studio and check in with Matt Berry. All right, Matt, how does UCLA not lead in one game and then beat Penn State?
Shout out Jerry Neuheisel taking over offensive play calling duties. That offense had been lethargic all year. It was great here today.
Weigman and has a completion, his first of the game, to Amari Thomas for about 6.
But to your point, that is a shocking result from Penn State, a team that so many people thought was the pick to win the national championship. Now 2 losses as we kick off the month of October.
Lost to Oregon last week in that thriller in State College. Snead dragged down at the 30-yard line. There's Jacob Rodriguez again.
Jacob Rodriguez, such a sure tackler, and he just knows exactly how to fit. He's going to come downhill. He feels exactly downhill before the center can get off on him, and a good tackle there to set up 3rd down. Koziel, their go-to target, been an excellent addition from Ball State. 3rd medium, they like to get their 6'7" tight end involved.
He had the game-tying touchdown last week. Instead, Weigman takes off, and he gets a block and picks up the 1st down out past the 45-yard line. He's running a lot more effectively and more often than he did when he was at Texas A&M.
What is about the block here by Snead? Watch him get up on the linebacker. He gets the key block on Ben Roberts to help spring this run for Weigman.
Tempo now from Houston. Weigman with time. Going downtown. It's underthrown, but still caught. Flags are down, but Kobe Young made the catch anyway. His first reception of the season. After missing almost all of last year with injury, gets his first catch of the year, and it goes for 44 yards inside the Texas Tech 15-yard line.
Pass interference. Defense number 20. Not penalties decline. Result of the play is a 1st down.
The redshirt freshman from New Orleans showcasing some speed. He had a couple of steps on Balfour. This ball was actually underthrown. Great adjustment by Young to complete that catch.
From the Texas Tech 12-yard line. A design run for Weigman. Gets another block. And then he is hog-tied by Ben Roberts after a gain of 6.
2 quarterback draws already here on this possession. Stacy Snead, the lead blocker once again. Nice job by Ben Roberts just getting off that block, or else it was going to be a touchdown for Connor Weigman. It is clear they know they need that extra hat, and we should expect to see quite a bit of quarterback run game from Weigman here tonight.
Weigman throws, and it's nearly intercepted by Rodriguez. What a smart play that time by Jacob Rodriguez. He just could not come up with the pick.
They wanted the RPO. They were going to try to hit the slant. And Rodriguez, watch him just see the eyes of Weigman. He's going to mirror the quarterback, get right in the throwing lane, and get his hands up.
Boy, it looked like it was tipped by a teammate, Wisniewski, yeah, and then off Rodriguez. So 3rd down and 4. Blitz coming. Weigman in trouble, backing up, lobs it, and he throws it out of bounds. Trying to hit Kobe Young. There was pressure from David Bailey. Got a shot in on Weigman, and Houston will have to settle for 3.
The pressure coming from both sides. This is what Tech does so well. Bailey here, it's Height here, and it's a sandwich at the quarterback. These guys are so good off the edge. Good hands by Bailey. You see the speed by Height, and Connor Weigman just no chance. No bigger fan of that type of defense than Emma Rodriguez watching from the stands.
And Jacob's wife made the trip from Lubbock, some 8.5 hours here to Houston. Ethan Sanchez gets Houston on the board with a 24-yard field goal. So a lot going wrong for Willie Fritz's team, but 6-point game after that nice drive engineered by Weigman and the big 44-yard pass play to Kobe Young. At the Taco Bell Live Más student section, dressed in Houston blue for the 3rd time in school history. Only one student section can claim the title of Live Más student section of the year. Who will take home the trophy this year? A lot of Texas Tech fans here as well, including Emma Rodriguez, but many others.
I was going to say, I like the Houston blue. Looks great. But boy, the Texas Tech fans are here in full force. A lot of red, a lot of tortillas. If you've ever been to Lubbock, you know it's a signature in Lubbock that they throw tortillas. They have been raining tortillas down on this field here throughout this first quarter. Tech fans loud, proud, and wanting the Houston people to know their presence is felt.
Zach Yoakum. And it looked like the ball fell off the tee. Well, coming into today, Texas Tech outscoring teams through the first 3 quarters of games 164-3. So they've matched their total already.
That is a staggering statistic. Staggering statistic. Most of the points scored on Texas Tech this year has come with backups late in the ball game. They have been unbelievably dominant here throughout the first 4 games of this season.
Touchback, here's Taylor.
Dave, offensive line coach for Texas Tech, Clay McGuire, calling his group's play here early sloppy. He said we have to do a better job of finishing blocks. So although Texas Tech has the advantage here, this offense far from satisfied.
Yeah, you look at 122 yards. They're moving the ball between the 20s just when they get down into the red zone. They have not been able to convert. They have a first-year play caller at Texas Tech and 30-year-old Mac Leftwich. More on his story later. It's a really interesting one. But very talented. The pass plays have been working. We've seen a couple drops, though, from receivers. Morton, and he gets grounded, sacked on the play by Fotu, so a loss of a yard.
That's good defense there, corralling Baron Morton, nowhere to go. It was Brooke Brown initially, and then Fotu putting Morton to the ground.
Morton has 72 career rushing yards, so obviously a lot of that has to do with sacks, but still not much of a threat as a runner. I think you may have had more rushing yards in your career.
Slightly less, Dave.
Morton zips that one in there to Aiken. He gets hammered at the 31-yard line by Brooke Brown. And there is Mac Leftwich. He is the man that discovered Cam Ward at Incarnate Word a few years ago. And Ward, obviously the #1 pick in the draft, was at Miami last year, now playing for the Titans.
He is a rising star in the profession, just 30 years young, and it's a great mix of offense he's brought to Texas Tech.
Wide open is Dickey, read beautifully by the quarterback. Morton. Dickey is still going inside the 30, inside the 10, all the way for a 69-yard touchdown. Leftwich loving it. Just a beautiful read by Baron Morton that time. And the offense going to stay on the field here, and they're going to go for 2 with a score of 15-3.
Well, explosive plays have been the calling card for Texas Tech all season. Houston has been so good at limiting those explosive plays, but a massive 3rd down conversion and a huge touchdown there for Tech.
So go for Dos, brought to you by Dos Equis. Play clock was down to 5, but they reset it, so plenty of time here. Dickey with his first receiving touchdown of the season. Back of the end zone, toss, and broken up. It was intended for Carter. Platt in coverage was dropping back that time, and so it remains 15-3.
On that 3rd down touchdown, there's going to be pressure here from Platt, pressure from Garner, and then nobody stays with Dickey out of the backfield, completely unidentified, and it's an excellent read and find from Baron Morton, and the rest is just Cameron Dickey in the open field, make the safety miss, heels to the field, and speed into the end zone.
Speaking of speed, look at Leftwich run. He was at Texas State the last couple of years. Prior to that, we mentioned Incarnate Word. He was watching tape on a guy that played in the wing T. And he barely threw the ball in high school. They thought he didn't look great either, maybe a little out of shape. And he was 3rd or 4th on their list at Incarnate Word. And Mac Leftwich convinced them to take a shot on Cam Ward, and the rest is history.
An incredible story and find, and what an opening chapter for the book of Mac Leftwich as an offensive mind in college football.
Just 30 years of age. Muse trying to find some room and dragged out of the 20-yard line by Ramirez. Taylor?
Dave, I'm so happy we had that shot of Leftwich running down the sideline, because that's exactly how he's been all game down here. So much energy. Keep in mind, some coordinators will be up in the booth, but he's down here looking into guys' eyes, talking about the play, and bringing a ton of energy.
He was such a joy to talk to yesterday. Very much in command of the room. Future head coach for sure.
And the offense he brings to the table, it's got some Art Briles principles, it's got some air raid principles, some Gus Malzahn run principles, a nice mixture that Leftwich is bringing to the table.
On first down, some running room off the right side for Stacy Snead, and out to about the 26-yard line. So a gain of a handful on first down for Houston.
Well, that's important. They need to stay in front of the chains. They struggled to do that against Oregon State. And this is a stout defensive line that we are going to talk about all throughout this ball game, but good blocking on the right side of that offensive line.
Pass play, Weigman dumping it off, Snead, and tackled right away. Another great play by Rodriguez, bringing up third down.
He's just all over the field. I mean,
and Houston turned the ball over once, got robbed of a takeaway by the officials. On third down, a one-handed attempt, and the catch is made by Koziel, but he's short. It's 4th and 1. The offense is staying on the field right now for Houston.
Boy, what a job here, going to the ground with his left hand, bringing that in by Koziel. Wow, gets his knee in. I think this shows you right here, going for it. Willie Fritz knows we've got to score. We've got to find a way to match this Tech offense.
Multiple tight ends in the game. Everybody in the box defensively. And a quarterback run for Weigman. And he's able to stretch forward and move the chains. I think you're right, though, Dusty. Willie Fritz knew, we can't punt it right back to them, or this might get sideways quickly.
I mean, his defense has been on the field a lot so far to start this game. Has really good patience there by Weigman. A nice cutback to stretch forward for the first.
Fritz has won it wherever he's been. Two-time junior college national champ, two-time runner-up at the FCS level. And Houston's already matched its win total from last year with 4. Connors straight ahead. Wrapped up by Rodriguez, but he went for a little ride. Gain of 10 and a first down for Connors.
With good blocking off the right side. Watch the right side of this offensive line. Set up this cutback for Connors. They get a big wash, and then Connors with good vision and burst.
Tempo again here for the Cougars. Nice cut in the hole by Connors, but there's too much speed for Tech. Ben Roberts, who's had a big first half, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery on the first offensive play for Houston as well.
This linebacker room is legit for Texas Tech. We've talked a lot about Jacob Rodriguez, but Ben Roberts, a 3-year starter. John Curry plays that star like an additional linebacker on the field. They fly around and tackle so well.
Weigman to the air, and the pass is picked off by Rodriguez. And then he hurdles a Cougar and is still going. And finally brought down inside the 25-yard line.
Well, Connor Weigman never saw Jacob Rodriguez. He's going to be staring down the end cut, never sees Rodriguez. Eyes on the quarterback, feels it, steps right in front, and an excellent interception and quality yards after the catch. How about the athleticism? The former quarterback hurdling a Houston offensive player, getting nice yards after the interception.
Jacob's wife, Emma, member of the U.S. Armed Forces, a helicopter pilot. High school sweethearts. Rival high schools growing up. spinning around is Morton. And now he almost throws an interception along the sideline. Knocked down that time by a defensive back better.
Dave Rodriguez, after that, you could tell, came to the sideline and he made eye contact with Emma. So that shot of Emma, he was looking directly at him and he was looking right back at her.
It was great. We were talking to him yesterday. He said she travels so much he gets to watch film. He says he loves to watch film, and so when she's working and protecting our country, he watches film. Carter trying to find some space along the sideline and going to come up just short of the first down.
Yeah, Dave, that's how she's helped further his football career, by not being there, so he can have more time to focus on the task at hand. Appreciate Emma so much for her service and for all of our service members out there, men and women. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you so much.
Oh, my God. I can't breathe. Holy cow. That was so great.
They'll keep it on the ground in 3rd and short, and trying to bust it to the outside with success is Williams to get the first down. It'll be 1st and goal after that 7-yard run by Jacoby Williams.
So the bounce there, nothing there initially on the interior, but Jacoby Williams with good vision, a nice jump cut, a nice pickup to move the chains once again.
Just a disastrous start for the home team, and Texas Tech has not been able to take advantage. Had to settle for 3 field goals in the red zone. Can they punch it in here? Their one touchdown came on an explosive catch and run for almost 70 yards. Williams straight ahead. And down to about the 5, tripped up by Platt, who's back after missing the last 2 years. Back-to-back Achilles injuries. They get right to the line here to snap it on 2nd and goal. Another Williams run. And Williams is in for the Texas Tech touchdown.
Points off turnovers, Dave. Such a key stat. You want to take the ball away, what do you do with it? Good physical running by Jacoby Williams for Texas Tech's first red zone touchdown of the night.
And Belenfant on for the extra point. 3rd rushing touchdown of the season for Williams. And it's 22-3.
Boy, good physical running from Jacoby Williams was not going to be denied there in the red zone. Not a whole lot there. You see the low pad level, the leg drive into the end zone. It was all set up by the leader of this defense, Jacob Rodriguez. Eyes on the quarterback, steps in front of the pass. And no one enjoyed that pick more than his wife, Emma.
Two huge games on ABC next Saturday. Alabama, which hung on to beat Vandy at home today, goes to Columbia to face Mizzou. Red River rivalry, Oklahoma, Texas. How concerned should Longhorn fans be right now? Lost at Florida today.
Well, their offense has continued to sputter, and that's an outstanding Oklahoma defense. The real question in that one, John Mateer, what will his status be for OU, Texas, and Dallas?
And let's go to the studio and Matt. Good night window with Miami, Florida State, Mississippi State A&M, Minnesota, Ohio State. Close game early on. And now Weigman running the ball here. And he gains 4 yards. And we talked about the offensive coordinator for Texas Tech, Mac Leftwich. There is Sheil Wood in his first year with the Red Raiders. He was Houston's defensive coordinator last year.
And he's had success really everywhere he's been. Very impressive coach, and talking about this Tech job, he knew the potential of this job, the alignment, the support from the alumni base, and the momentum they've got in Lubbock. And Joey McGuire happy to have him as his D coordinator.
Weigman hit as he throws, and it's pulled in by Stephon Johnson near midfield for a gain of about 20.
When rolled the pocket to the right, and Romello Wright, Hyde is going to get there. This is an excellent throw by Connor Weigman. He can feel that pressure, stands firm in the pocket, and delivers a dime.
Hobbling as you saw, going to the line to try to go with tempo after the chunk play through the air. Time for Weigman, and looking deep for Amari Thomas, and there's going to be an interference penalty. Got tangled up with Bryce Pollock, who's got 3 interceptions on the season.
Last interference, defense number 14, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And Pollock just going to get his arms all the way around Amari Thomas. A stutter double move. Kind of panics. Very easy call for the side judge.
So Houston will have it now inside the Texas Tech 40-yard line. Third penalty on the Red Raiders. That's been the one issue. They had 14 in the win over Utah. They just haven't come back to haunt them because they've been blowing teams out. Nice play in the backfield again by Rodriguez, taking down Connors for a loss. Now, Sheil Wood, who again left Houston, Willie Fritz was asked about. He said, "I have no ill will." He doubled his salary, and that's Texas Tech. Everybody knows about the infusion of talent and the money that's been put into the football program, and specifically athletic department in general has made a big difference with this Red Raider program. One of the reasons why they're as good as they are in 2025. On 2nd and 13, Connors again. No room again. Lee Hunter bottles him up.
And Sheil Wood was a part of the process of bringing in these new players. There was already a system in place, but he was able to add and give his thoughts, wanted to add speed. But it's also veterans that have been here, guys like Jacob Rodriguez, Bryce Ramirez, mainstays on this defense. The collection of everybody has really allowed this defense to flourish.
Houston 1 of 4 on 3rd down. They'll try to get a chunk of it here and then go for it on 4th down, you would imagine. Weigman with time, hit, fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by the Cougars. David Bailey chopped it free. Abasale, the left tackle, able to recover it for Houston.
Well, David Bailey is so strong. He's got good hands. Watch him continue to work as he's going to get to Connor Weigman. Never gives up, continues his rush, power, rips off late, and with that right arm gets the ball out. Another excellent rush by these talented Texas Tech edge players.
Boy, both these teams 4-0 coming in. It feels like a complete mismatch. Good punt by Doherty, and the fair catch made by Aiken around the 10-yard line. It is all Texas Tech here on the road in Houston, leading 22-3 and back on offense when we return.
Coach, your team with the 15-3 advantage here after one quarter. What do you make of what you've seen so far?
Well, we're playing good defense. We've caused a turnover, but we're not finishing drives. I mean, we should have 3 touchdowns. We're just not finishing drives, but we're going to. We've got, I think the guys, we've got 3 drives.
Hey, welcome back to Houston with Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor. I'm Dave Pasch. Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Capital One. We mentioned some close games in the night window. Miami just scoring a touchdown moments ago. That game over on ABC. Already touched on UCLA, Penn State. Don't sleep on Mississippi State if you're Texas A&M. Looked like a much improved team under Jeff Levy in year 2.
One of the most improved teams in all of college football this season. Their only loss is that overtime loss to Tennessee last week. That should be a very interesting game there in College Station. First week of October. Boy, the top 10 taking a tumble.
Well, Alabama tied at halftime, shut out Vanderbilt in that second half. Win it in Tuscaloosa. Baron Morton will run it. Crosses the 10 and dumped at about the 12-yard line. So a gain of just a couple there. Tripped up by Jalen Garner.
Well, nice job inside. Carlos Allen Jr. See that strength as he sheds a block and makes a nice play for a minimal gain.
Dickey trying to get the edge. And he gets run down at the 14-yard line by Will James. So another gain of 1 or 2. Third down coming up.
You touched on it earlier in this game, Dave. This Houston defense has been very good and 3rd and 4 plus coming into this ball game. Already down 19. Got to find a way to come up with a stop.
Blitz is picked up. Morton's pass juggled and incomplete. May have been short of the sticks anyway. The pass was thrown underneath to Carter. It was well covered, though, by Houston. And so a punt for Texas Tech. How about that?
This one, the rare misses we've seen all night from Baron Morton. This pass just a little bit behind and high of Terrence Carter Jr. And I agree with you. I think Jordan Allen was in good shape to rally up, even if he makes that catch. But an important stop for this Cougs defense.
First punt of the game, 11th of the season. That's it, 11 punts for Texas Tech. And that one lands out of bounds. We'll see where it crossed the chalk marks. And the official stops at the 48-yard line of Texas Tech.
Well, he came in tonight as one of the dudes to keep an eye on, and boy, Jacob Rodriguez has delivered, coming downhill, the sure tackler all over the place. And he can do it with pass coverage as well. The former quarterback understands what a quarterback wants to do, the tendencies. See him follow the eyes of Connor Weigman, step in front of that pass. He has been all over the field this season and tonight for this Tech defense.
Best starting field position, though, for Houston, and a much needed situation. We try to get a touchdown, but that pass off target from Weigman trying to hit Thomas. Well, he touched down at the start of the telecast. Connor Weigman playing in a lot of big games when he was at Texas A&M. But it has been a struggle, and some of that has to do with the pressure that's been put on him throughout the game.
That's exactly right. David Bailey, Romello Height, these new additions coming off the edge. And it's not just in the game, but you watch this film all week and you get sped up. You know, I've got to get rid of that football just a little bit quicker. This pass rush clearly affecting Connor Weigman here this evening.
They might come after him again here. They go with an empty set. Now they bring Burnett, who's missed the last 3 games due to injury. They shift him back to help protect. And Weigman in trouble again, escapes the pocket and throws to Thomas, incomplete. Thomas got lit up by Pollock as the ball arrived. 3rd down.
We haven't mentioned Skylar Gill-Howard, the inside move, the quick hands. So good. He's been one of the more disruptive inside forces for Texas Tech. That quick pressure puts Connor Weigman on the move.
Oh, this defensive line just relentless.
And that's what championship teams have. They have elite, relentless defensive lines that can take games over. And that's the calling card of this Tech defense.
They keep it on the ground on 3rd and long to try to get something to put him in 4th and manageable. Burnett down at the 44, so it's going to be 4th down and about 6 here.
Keep the offense on the field. I mean, you know, if you're Willie Fritz, we've got to find a way to score points. Look for 9, Tanner Koziel, the Ball State transfer. He's 6'7", and boy, he catches everything in sight.
1 for 1 on 4th down so far. Delayed pressure. Weigman's pass behind Koziel, incomplete. Weigman got hit again. Gil Howard was in the backfield for Texas Tech, and Houston turns it over on downs.
Well, on cue, this pass rush, it's relentless. It's inside right here. It's off the edge, coming here. Connor Weigman has no time to function, no time to operate. It's all Red Raiders here in Houston.
It is all Texas Tech in every way, just dominating. That defensive line holding Houston to under 100 yards. Tech with 226. They forced 2 turnovers. They have the ball again after turning over Houston on downs. And Morton in trouble, and he's sacked back at the 37-yard line. That was Mark Stampley, the second, getting to the quarterback. A loss of 8.
Well, he's going to come from deep, and he's going to get home. Nice job on the pressure. Baron Morton never recognizes him coming until it's too late. Good job creating the sack and the negative play by Stampley.
Four-man rush this time. Morton from the pocket completes the pass to Virgil, who's able to slip 2 tackles, and Virgil still going before he's finally dragged down at the 49-yard line of Houston. Jacoby Williams shaken up for Tech.
Oh boy, tackling was an issue a week ago for Houston against Oregon State. Now about Virgil, just good, tough, keeping the legs moving after the catch, known more for his speed, but very difficult to bring down for Houston after the catch.
Virgil, one of 6 transfers ranked in the ESPN top 50. This Texas Tech roster, as Jacoby Williams being tended to at the 46-yard line of Tech. Up 22-3 on Houston. Now, last night in the Big 12, BYU remained unbeaten. Cincinnati with a big win over Iowa State. So Texas Tech looking to join those other 3 teams at 2-0. Remember, there was a 4-way tie atop the Big 12 standings. A cheer, by the way, for Jacoby Williams, who got up and ran to the sideline under his own power. How concerned should other Big 12 teams be watching Texas Tech?
Very concerned. This team is legit. They have the ingredients. They have the DNA to be a team that can make a huge run in the Big 12 and could potentially be a problem in the college football playoff. I know coming into the year, there's a long way to go. Felt like that maybe no one would separate the Big 12. Boy, to me, Texas Tech is really starting to separate from the pack.
3rd down and 5. Dickey up the gut, got the first down.
Just a good physical run between the tackles. These 2 running backs, they complement each other so well. Dickey with that thick build and a physical run.
Morton, long throw to the sideline, and the catch is made, and another missed tackle, and Douglas is free inside the 20 and inside the 15. When you think about Texas Tech's schedule, now they have to go to Arizona State in 2 weeks. That'll be a really tough game. They have BYU in Lubbock, but their strength of schedule compared to some other teams in the Big 12, when you look at who they played pre-conference, pretty good chance to reach the CFP with a win.
There's no doubt. And when you think about what they did at Utah, the way they look here on the road at Houston, home or away, doesn't faze this football team.
Morton throwing again to Douglas and pushed out of bounds by McCutcheon.
I mean, what they were able to do at Utah, that's one of the, Rice Eccles is one of the toughest places to play in the country. And they ran away from a very good Utah team in that second half. And they're running away from Houston here in the first half.
Dickey inside the 5, driving the legs, and down at the 1. And prior to that Utah game, they beat Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, and Oregon State. Not exactly a difficult schedule, but just watching the scores in those games, watching here tonight, it's clear Texas Tech is for real on both sides of the ball.
They are, and that's the difference. We've seen great Tech offenses in the past. This is a great Tech offense, but it's at times an elite Tech defense. And I thought Dickey was really close to getting over the goal line on that last physical run.
They go with 6 offensive linemen here. And some movement by Texas Tech. Again, they still haven't given up a touchdown
Ball start
in the first 3 quarters
offense
of a game.
Number 79. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And we're going to get in the second half a little bit to the story about how they got some of these transfers, but you got to give Joey McGuire a lot of credit for how he's been able to build this culture with a lot of new faces.
All the credit, the buy-in, the team aspect. To me, he's Joey Juice, man. He always brings the energy. He's upbeat, he's positive. His players love to play for him. And a lot of newness, some veteran guys, and he's been able to meld it all together into the team that we've seen. It's been as dominant as anyone in college football to start the 2025 season.
Meanwhile, Houston had the wrong personnel on the field. They get that settled. And Jacoby Williams back in the game and wrestled to the ground by Carlos Allen, who's still fighting. No gain on the play.
I like talking with Carlos Allen. Only had one offer coming out, Kennesaw State. And he's just continued to work and work, lost 20 pounds. Highly productive for the inside of that Houston defensive line. Good stop there on first down.
Austin Armstrong, the defensive coordinator for Houston, who was at Florida last year. 2nd and goal. Another run play. It's Morton keeping it, and he's brought down again by Allen. Well, this is the one thing that Texas Tech has not done well, is finish drives in this game. Taylor?
Allen with some big-time tackles here in the red zone. And look, Houston is surging on the sideline. It has been Carlos Allen who's trying to rally the group together, keep them engaged, even though the scoreboard doesn't reflect in their favor.
Yeah, and they've done a good job in these situations, Taylor. That's why it's only 19 as opposed to being down 30. That takes us to the 2-minute timeout. We'll see if Houston's defense can come up with a stop on 3rd down and goal when we come back.
I love you. Here we go! Let's go! Let's go! Did you see his jump? You didn't see his jump, I don't think. You were too excited. I did what? He jumped over someone. Oh.
A lot of people think Miami's the best team in the country right now.
Hey, the way they've played, it's tough to argue.
Third down and goal for Texas Tech. A pitch to Williams, but a flag down. There was some movement first.
False start. Offense number 7. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Hasn't been many issues for Texas Tech tonight, but the red zone has been the culprit. Just 1 of 4 here inside the red area. It's what's making this score at least somewhat respectable for Houston here in the first half.
5 penalties by Texas Tech. Again, that's been an issue. Haven't been many for Texas Tech. Certainly things that are easy to clean up with the talent they have on both sides of the ball. Third down and 8. Pressure coming. Morton backpedaling and then appeared to just throw it away back of the end zone. Again, the field goal team will run out there for the 4th attempt of the night.
Well, Houston defense continues to bend, but don't break. Limit them to yet another field goal. It's a good red zone stop for Austin Armstrong's defense.
Tech is 3 for 3 on attempts. This will be a 26-yarder from Stone Harrington. And nails another one. Make it 25-3 Red Raiders. So look at that. Just 6-point surrenders through the first 3 quarters of the first 5 games of the season.
You've been doing this a lot longer than me. I mean, 4.5 games in, you remember seeing numbers quite like that?
I guess in part a little bit maybe to the competition. You could understand it when you're playing Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Kent State, but
went to Utah.
Yeah, Utah and here. I mean, it's real. The defense is real for Tech.
It is very real, as is the offense. Complete football team. And fans in Lubbock are loving what they're seeing so far this season.
I do appreciate you saying not how much longer I've been doing it than you. Glad you just said longer.
Well, I'm pretty sure you were doing it whenever I was playing.
That is true.
I've been watching you for a long time.
Don't say that. You got a touchback. Well, one of the stars of this game and this season for Texas Tech, Jacob Rodriguez, and his wife Emma, helicopter pilot in the Army, mic'd up tonight.
Buddy, look. I love you. Here we go! Let's go! Let's go! Did you see his stuff? You didn't see his stuff, I don't think. You were too excited. I did what? He jumped over someone. Oh.
Meanwhile, Chris Gramillion, the backup quarterback, is in. Don't know if Weigman is banged up because he had been hobbling a couple times. Let's get the update on that from Taylor.
Yeah, Dave, the only thing we know is that he has been taken to the locker room, so we'll get more information at halftime and let you know.
All right, thank you, Taylor. Meanwhile, Rodriguez with a tackle for loss. That interception that you saw as Chris's pass is caught. Boy, that was a tough throw, and Amari Thomas is going to have a walk-in 64-yard touchdown. Okay, it's a 2-score game. Some energy in this stadium now. So Chris Gramillion, who played some games last year, started 7 of them, got a lot of experience providing a spark here, and now Houston will go for 2.
Well, exactly what Houston needed. First touchdown, the first 3 quarters allowed all season from Texas Tech.
First charge, timeout. Texas Tech.
So timeout called by Texas Tech, but how about Chris? That was a tough throw, and he had a lot on that ball.
He did, and look, there's going to be pressure. They're going to bring 6, going to come in. Okay, then you have man-to-man coverage outside, and it's just going to be Amari Thomas going to win one-on-one with Brendan Jordan. Pressure in his face, pretty tight coverage, and an absolute dime delivered by Amari Thomas, and Brendan Jordan falls down after the catch. And finally a big explosive play for Houston to get them on the board and potentially back in this ball game here before halftime.
That's Chris's second completion of the season. Again, he played a lot last year. Was at Louisiana 2 years ago. Going for two, trying to make it a 14-point game. Boy, should have snapped it there. Would have had an offside call on Texas Tech. Chris facing pressure, gets away, and his pass is pulled down for 2 points by Stephon Johnson. An alley-oop, a lob by Chris, and Johnson with a slam.
Pressure provided again from Romello Height. He's going to get home, but you're going to see Zeon Chris Gramillion step up and just float this thing because Stephon Johnson comes wide open, climbs the ladder, high points it, and brings it in. Wow. Some life for Willie Fritz's offense here before we get to halftime.
Yes, for the offense, but you still wonder about the defense, surrendering 283 yards. The one thing they've done is, we've mentioned throughout the night, is stop them in the red zone. Can they stop them at the Texas Tech 25?
But at least there's fight from Houston. They haven't laid down. They haven't quit.
Yep.
Connor Weigman goes to them. They could have just sat on the ball. Just give them a lot of credit, man. That's an important drive. But to your point, yes, can your defense now match that and come up with a stop?
And as you heard Taylor say, Connor Weigman going back to the locker room. He got beat up in this first half, was pressured on the first 27 plays. He was pressured 10 times and hit almost every one of those. Returnable for Hudson from the 5-yard line. Good coverage by Houston. He'll be brought down short of the 20. Well, the NHL season begins Tuesday night. Triple header on ESPN. Blackhawks Panthers will start things. The Panthers trying to become the first team since the Islanders in the early 80s to three-peat. Penguins, Rangers, Avs, Kings to follow.
Love NHL back in action. Used to enjoy going to Blackhawks games when I was in Chicago. The physicality, the toughness, and I'm game for a little hockey fight every now and again, Pash.
Yeah, you would have been on that fourth line if you played. You've been the guys.
They call that a goon?
Yeah, call the goon line to start the fight.
I like those guys.
Run play on first down. Cameron Dickey. They blow it dead at the 20-yard line, so just a couple yards. And tempo here. Texas Tech has 2 timeouts remaining. Morton able to complete the pass to Carter. And close to a first down. He's got it. Gain of 9.
What's a good throw? Pressure right in his face right now. Brandon Mack, the second, gets home. Baron Morton stares down the gun barrel and delivers a nice pass.
Sideline pass is caught by Virgil. Houston just trying to keep everything in front of it defensively right now.
With some frustration out there. 36 Jalen Garner looking to the sidelines. Didn't feel like they had the call in time. Texas Tech going very fast as Houston still looking over the side to get the call.
And if you're Houston, you just finally had something good happen. You can't give up points going to the locker room. Texas Tech kicker made a 58-yarder last week. Flag is down. Morton's pass is caught and then knocked down at the last second, incomplete. Great play made by Latrell McCutcheon on Caleb Douglas. And the officials pointing in the direction of Texas Tech as the guilty party here on the flag.
Illegal shift. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Boy, Latrell McCutcheon, he has really impacted this team his senior year. Punches this football out. Timing perfect. Bringing that arm in. He's become an excellent leader for this team and the best cornerback on the roster. Wouldn't have mattered anyway, but a nice play.
6 penalties now on Tech. Morton back to throw with time that everybody covered. And now Morton will just throw it away. So that will stop the clock with 33 seconds to go. Second down and 15. Well, the winner of this game will go to 5-0 and 2-0 in conference play. It's the first time Tech has started 4-0 since 2013. The starting quarterback that year, Baker Mayfield, is a walk-on true freshman for Cliff Kingsbury in his first year as the head coach of the Red Raiders. Houston 4-0 for the first time since 2016. They beat Oklahoma that year. Baker Mayfield was playing for the Sooners then. Morton on the move, completes the pass, and the tackle made inbounds on Aiken. So the clock is running again. Tech has 2 timeouts, and Joey McGuire will use one here to stop it with 23 seconds left. 3rd down and a yard coming up.
Connection of Morton and Aiken. Been doing that for a long time together. Very impressive.
All right, now a quick word from Verbo.
As your host, I have some rules. First, no showers longer than 5 minutes. This isn't a spa. That's the rule.
Meanwhile, at a Verbo, get the vacation you expect and never a hovering host.
They pass Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor. Final 23 seconds of the first half. Texas Tech looking to strike back after Houston had a long touchdown to get within 14.
Houston's red zone defense, really one of the stories here today. Just keeping this somewhat salvageable as they have been able to keep Texas Tech outside of the end zone several times in the red area. Can they get a stop here before halftime? Would be important for momentum.
Quarterback draw. Morton's got the first down. Again, they have a timeout. Clock stops to reset the chains. 18 seconds to go. Not close enough yet for their kicker. Again, Harrington made a 58-yarder last week, but that was an altitude in Salt Lake City. Long throw, Morton. They're a little bit closer to field goal range, and now in field goal range after the missed tackle, and finally knocked out of bounds. With 10 seconds left is Caleb Douglas around the 22-yard line.
But Douglas is big. He's 6'4", he's 205. And Vetter's got to find a way to get him on the ground inbounds. Not only does he not get him down, he gets the additional yards, but then also gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
And Douglas already over 100 yards receiving. Transfer from Florida, second year with Texas Tech, 60 catches last year. Had some drops early in the season, got better as the year went along, and had a great night tonight. And now a timeout by Houston.
Second charge timeout. Houston.
So if you're Texas Tech here, you got 10 seconds left, end zone shot, and then field goal. Is that kind of how you play this year?
Or you can get out of bounds and then take a shot at the end zone. I don't know if you have to go out and take a shot at the end zone here immediately. You can cut it in half and give yourself an opportunity a little bit closer. Just been really impressed. This Tech offense now 348 yards in the first half against a Houston defense that's had a good start to the season, but Texas Tech has really had success both through the air and on the ground here so far.
Again, if you have not watched the Red Raiders this season, you see why they're ranked 11th. Their defense is legit. They've added some transfers who had a big impact up front for them. They've got a veteran quarterback in Baron Morton as well. And Morton has 261 passing yards and a touchdown, and he's going back to work, but pressure's on. He gets hit. The ball flutters out of his hand, and it's ruled a fumble recovered by Texas Tech. McCutcheon chopped it out. It was recovered by Wilson, the center, and Texas Tech calls a timeout so they can at least try a field goal, which is going to be about 6 yards longer now.
So a really nice job by McCutcheon, dipping, bending that edge, but he never gives up on it. Working back, that ball is definitely out. There's an excellent rush off the edge. Watch how low he gets. Call this running the hoop. Never gives up on it, works back to the football and gets it out. As it's kind of been the calling card for this Houston defense. They've given up a lot of yards, but forced a lot of field goals here this evening.
They couldn't get the takeaway. They're -2 in the turnover ratio tonight. So a 44-yard field goal try from Harrington with 2 seconds to go. And Houston will use its last timeout to try to freeze Harrington, who is 7 for 7 on the season.
Fair to say that Harrington has been stone cold earlier
Very
in the
fair.
season?
Yes, very fair. Well said.
Thank you.
Now, if Houston, despite just a disastrous start to the game, turning it over on the first play, an interception inside their own territory, if this is a miss and you can stay within 2 scores, they get the ball to start the second half. Could be big for the Cougars. Texas Tech has had to settle for 4 field goals in this first half, including after they got the fumble recovery on that first play of offense for Houston. Houston blocked 2 field goals last week. And that one is wide to the right. No good. And the Houston.
Both sides of the ball, 344 total yards to 174 on Houston's side. And really the red zone inefficiencies of Texas Tech is why Houston finds themselves coming out of half just down 2 scores.
And it will be Chris Gramillion at quarterback. Taylor McGregor reported just before halftime that Connor Weigman was taken to the locker room. Asked Willie Fritz about it. Fritz wasn't sure of the status. And Chris, who started 7 games last year for Houston, may go the rest of the way. He's looking deep on first down, but in trouble. Steps up and throws incomplete. Trying to hit Thomas. Let's get the latest now on Weigman from Taylor again.
Yeah, Dave, the only thing I know is that he is still in the locker room, and per officials from Houston, there is no update, so we'll keep you posted there. But as for Coach McGuire and this Texas Tech team, he told me my guys were upset at half. I actually had to calm them down, remind them that it was 10-3 against Utah at halftime. It's hard to win football games, but our #1 key to victory always, we can't beat ourselves, and they feel like they beat themselves in the first half.
Yeah, a lot of penalties by Texas Tech, and now a takeaway as the ball ends up in the hands of Gil Howard. Big man touchdown. The 300-pounder Skylar Gil Howard somehow ends up with a ball. There is a penalty marker down, though, and it appears to be on the Red Raiders.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 13. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, another costly penalty. We were just talking about it. And there it is. Ben Roberts negates a touchdown that may have put the game away.
Yeah, right on cue with Taylor's report. Joey McGuire saying we can't beat ourselves, and Ben Roberts taking points off the board for this Texas Tech defense. Not what Coach McGuire wanted to see coming out of half. Ben Roberts, bottom of your screen on Dean Connors. Didn't see a whole lot there, Dave.
Still don't know how the ball ended up in Gil Howard's hands. Back to the ground attacking Connors, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage before he's knocked down by John Curry, who's really come on for Texas Tech. Both his parents played sports for the Red Raiders. Mom Jolie, great basketball player at Tech. Dad played football. Grandpa's John Ayers, who is a 2-time Super Bowl champ with the 49ers as an offensive lineman.
I just love watching him because he's always around the football and plays 100 miles an hour.
On 2nd and 10, Chris Gramillion stepping up and hoisting it deep. Incomplete. Trying for Stephon Johnson and Dante Balfour in coverage.
Well, good job by Balfour. Trying to take a deep shot down the field to Stephon Johnson, and Balfour in good position gets his hands up at the last minute. You can see Chris Gramillion. He is running for his life back there, evading pressure and looking for another big play for this Houston offense.
Might be 4-down territory. We've seen him go for it on 4th down twice already in this game. Maybe that's why they ran it there on 3rd and 10. They get about a handful back with Connors. Let's get another update from Taylor.
Yeah, Dave, I just learned that Connor Weigman is out for the rest of the game with an upper body injury.
All right, so it's Chris Gramillion show the rest of the way. Interesting call on 3rd down if you're going to punt.
I thought the exact same thing. Like if you're gonna go for it, it's 4-down territory. Try to get a piece of it back, make it 4th and manageable. But trotting the punt team out, very conservative play call there on 3rd down, down 2 touchdowns out of half.
Doherty will punt it away to Coy Aiken, who muffed a punt, but kick catch interference was called in the first half against Houston. He secures that one after the 40-yard punt. Take a look at our playbook brought to you by Modelo. Red zone offense for Texas Tech. Not very good. Otherwise, the Red Raiders be up huge in this game.
Well, a drop by Aiken, one that goes right through the hands of the running back, Cameron Dickey. One that catchable ball there by Caleb Douglas. Pretty good defense there on the edge. And just nowhere for Barry Morton to go with the football. It's been a combination of good Houston red zone D and some missed opportunities from this Texas Tech offense.
Just 1 of 5 in the red zone. And that touchdown they gave up at the end of the first half, by the way, as Jacoby Williams picks up about 4 running off the right side. That was the first touchdown allowed by Texas Tech in the first 3 quarters of any game this season.
And it really just out of nowhere. Backup quarterback comes in, and Tech hasn't had to blitz very much this year. They get home with 4. They brought a 6-man pressure as man-to-man.
Morton fires it out in the flat to Virgil, and Virgil has a first down before he's shoved out by Webb.
Reggie Virgil, been an excellent addition for this wide receiving core. Nice job moving the chains.
Back to the air. Morton setting up. Long throw, and the catch is made by Douglas. Forward progress will have him right at the marker at the 34.
Caleb Douglas has been the feature wide receiver here so far tonight. 10 targets for him in total. Really done a good job on those comeback routes. Good timing there from Barry Morton.
Actually, you had the chain set up wrong. One of the chains was off, had to move it, so it was only a gain of 6. 2nd and 4. Give to Jacoby Williams. Close to the first down at the 40 or the 38-yard line. Texas Tech 4-0 for the first time in 12 years. They started 7-0. They're ranked 11th. Could move into the top 10. Got to imagine Penn State's going to go tumbling way out.
Maybe and Texas.
Yeah, Texas also. So chance to get to the top 10. Their highest ranking top 10 was back in 2013 when they were number 10. And we got a timeout. 3rd down and 1 coming up for Texas Tech. And Houston hoping for a stop.
We started the day today with 2 other Texas teams inside the top 10, and Texas Tech right there on the outside looking in. Not so sure this isn't the best team in the state of Texas here in the Red Raiders.
Might be the best team in the Big 12 as well. Still have to go to Arizona State in a couple weeks. Should be a great one. Nice move as Jacoby Williams breaks free. First down and more. And finally caught up to by Jordan Allen at the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 23.
Well, Terrence Carter Jr. is going to come back across the formation and set a key block on the perimeter. Watch the jump cut of Jacoby Williams. Patience, jump cut out to the left, get to the edge, and an outstanding pickup for the first down.
Now, Houston had life, but Texas Tech trying to go back up by 3 scores. Nice drive put together so far. Dickey grounded at the 35 after another 5-yard run. Houston just can't generate any penetration with their defensive line. And no negative plays. Look at the play caller there, Mac Leftwich for Texas Tech in his first year. Aiken out in space. Shoved out by Webb.
Just
first down.
So tough to deal with. The offensive line, they get that running game going. You want to bring an extra hat inside. They'll pop it outside. Really spread defense is so thin. The wide spreads from the wide receivers sets up the rushing attack and still the ability to throw the football down the field.
Morton, another long throw, completes it to Terrence Carter. Houston trying to strip the ball. Carter eventually taken down after a gain close to 10.
Well, we talked with Mac Leftwich yesterday, and I was asking him about Terrence Carter Jr., who's been such a weapon for this offense. And he said he's never had a tight end to feature in his offense. They move Terrence Carter Jr. all over the field. He's improved in blocking, but a true threat as a pass catcher for this offense.
Although Carter shaken up, and we also see Jacob Rodriguez going back to the locker room now for Texas Tech.
Terrence Carter Jr. able to jog off. Good to see. Be very intrigued to see what's going on with Jacob Rodriguez.
Texas Tech plays Kansas at home next week, then has to go to Tempe. They'll host BYU on November 8th, so at least on paper for now, looks like Arizona State and BYU the toughest games left on the schedule. Cincinnati beat Iowa State today. Big win for the Bearcats. Morton perfect on this drive. 4 of 4 passing. Play 9 overall on this possession. Coming up. Downhill run by Dickey. Able to slip another tackle. Finally brought down after he picked up the first down at the 17.
Well, good elusiveness there by Cameron Dickey. It's amazing, Dave. You know, you touched on earlier, but they lose Taj Brooks from last year. Such a key piece. Quentin Joyner comes in from USC. They lose him toward the end of camp. And these two true sophomores, Cameron Dickey and Jacoby Williams, have just really stepped up and both been extremely productive.
Dickey, this time swallowed up by Carlos Allen. Gain of 1. They also have an improved offensive line. Howard Sampson, new left tackle, transfer from North Carolina, ranked in the top 20 among transfers according to ESPN. They got a lot of those guys. And again, a lot of the targets were players who had been captains, leaders on other teams. It wasn't just a signing frenzy just to accumulate as much talent as possible. It was very calculated and well done by Texas Tech. Dickey brought down again near the line of scrimmage. That was McCutcheon on the tackle. 3rd and long as they try to solve their red zone issues here offensively on this 3rd and 10.
It's been the danger zone for this offense. They've moved the football up and down the field at will. Yet when they enter the red zone, this offense has shown signs of sputtering here tonight. Caleb Douglas has been the go-to guy tonight.
Houston only rushing 3. Everybody covered. Morton on the move. Has a completion out near the 12, but going to be well short of the line to gain. Douglas on the catch. And here comes the field goal team again.
This Houston defense answers the call one more time. It's good coverage down the field. They motion Caleb Douglas to the near side of the field. They stay with him. And another good stop for this Houston defense.
Well, Harrington missed a 44-yard attempt right before halftime, so Bellenfant going to get a chance to kick here. He made a 33-yarder in the first half. Tech was 4 of 5 on field goal attempts. And now 5 of 6. 28-11, Texas Tech leading at the midway point of the 3rd quarter here in Houston, Texas.
Unlock more sports for one unbeatable price. Get unrivaled coverage all year long. Introducing the new ESPN Fox One Bundle.
With Dusty Dvorak and Taylor McGregor in Houston, I'm Dave Pasch. It's 28-11 Texas Tech. 5 made field goals for the Red Raiders. And a 17-point lead. Touchback. Houston will start on its 25. Well, Texas Tech, as we've touched on throughout the broadcast, did a great job in the transfer portal and spent big money as well with NIL to get a lot of these guys. And you got 6 in the top 50 according to ESPN. And really the guy that's the face of kind of this new era, at least right now, that could always change, of where we are in college football, is Cody Campbell, is the chairman of the Texas Tech Board of Regents, and he's a billionaire. And he, along with his partners, did a great job supporting his alma mater. He played at Texas Tech 20 years ago. They've given a ton of money, not just to the football program, but to the athletic department to beef up all the programs, as Douglas has about 7 yards there on first down.
It was extremely important to Cody Campbell. He's a 4th generation Red Raider, and he wanted to do something to give back, to elevate Texas Tech and West Texas. And he told me today that the success that he's been able to have all comes from Texas Tech. It's not just him, it's his partner John Sellers, it's also Gary Peterson, and so many others. They formed this Matador Club with over 3,500 members, Dave, and they raised over $63 million. An incredible amount of money and resources have been poured into Texas Tech athletics, the pro football program, the basketball program, the softball program. But it really was Cody Campbell that had the vision to be able to see.
Illegal formation. Offense, 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
To see that there was a moment, a point in time when the House settlement was coming to fruition, and that there was going to be an area of time before, July 1st, where you could really load up and put together a roster. There was a strategy involved, execution, and Joey McGuire has made the whole thing go.
Chris to throw, pressure on, and Chris is sacked back at the 19-yard line by David Bailey, who is a part of that transfer class, ranked number 9 by ESPN, projected 1st-round pick from Stanford.
Boy, watch the hands and watch the dip off the edge. Gets so low whenever he goes with his rip. Romello Height coming off the other edge, and it's perfectly timely. 2 of the key pieces of this defensive line that they identified, they brought in, and have been extremely productive for this Texas Tech defense.
Joey McGuire told us that Cody Campbell and his team sat down with Kirby Hocutt, the athletic director, and the coaches, and said, this is right when everything was announced, as the NIL money was going to increase as Snead is brought down to the 25-yard line. He basically assured his head coach and the athletic director that he would do whatever he could financially to support Texas Tech. And it was very early on in the process when this all came down, and boy, was he true to his word, because the amount of money spent has been astronomical, and it's a big reason why Texas Tech is looking at 5-0. They can hang on here. Aiken has it at the 30. Trying to get the edge at the 50, and does before he's run out of bounds.
It's about having a plan, having the resources, and being able to execute on that. Cody Campbell, Joey McGuire, and Texas Tech continue to execute.
last night in Texas high school football, you had the Pear Bowl, the battle of two Pearland schools, Pearland and Dawson. And Pearland won the game 17-13 at the Rig in Pearland, Texas. Joey McGuire, member of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. You, being from Lake Dallas, Texas, know what it's like to play Texas high school football.
There's nothing like Friday night lights in the state of Texas, Dave Pasch. A state that is so prideful in their high school football. Town shut down. What a scene last night in Pearland.
They packed the stadium on Saturday night, too, in Texas, including a lot of members of the road team. Baron Morton on the move and throws a dart to Aiken and gains just a couple. In fact, Kirby Hocutt, the athletic director, joked that this was a home sellout, even though it's a road game. And there are
a lot of Red
Raider fans here.
A lot of red in the stadium here tonight. As we mentioned, tortillas have been raining down all throughout the course of this ball game here.
Williams to about the 35. Taylor?
Dusty, to your point, I've almost been hit by about 10 different tortillas down here. So it's no joke. It does feel, in aspects, like a home game for Texas Tech.
Well, you should have asked me for some advice. Having played at Texas Tech a couple of times, I know how to dodge those tortillas very well.
I was going to ask you if anybody ever picks up and eats them.
Dip, dive, and dodge, Taylor. And no, don't eat them.
Morton on 3rd and 6, and the pass is incomplete. It pinballs off Williams. With Blake Thompson in coverage, it's 4th down and 6. Texas Tech will keep the offense on the field for now and then try a field goal again. They're 5 of 6. This will be the longest of the night. Stone Harrington missed a 44-yarder at the end of the half. He made a 58-yarder 2 weeks ago in their last game at Utah. This will be a 53-yard attempt. Another miss. And somehow Houston technically still alive, despite the fact that Texas Tech has absolutely dominated this game and dominated the stands with red here in Houston. Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week. It's time now for our Aflac trivia question. Aflac. Which FBS player holds the record for most total yards in a single game? You look befuddled.
I know the answer.
If you need a hint, and I'm guessing you don't, but just for the audience, it does involve somebody that played on one of these two teams.
No doubt.
Connors. What a great hint, right? Out to the 40, as if we'd ask a question that didn't involve these two teams.
It was an all-timer of a game, I believe.
And an all-timer of a player.
Yes.
We'll get to the answer here in a minute. 2nd down and 5.
I'm learning. You know, usually I jump right in, but I'm waiting for it.
Give the audience more time to kind of digest it.
The build-up.
Jacob Rodriguez back. He went to the locker room, but has not returned, obviously, to the game. Had an interception in the first half. 2nd and 5. Connors, 1st down. And tripped up. Otherwise, if he had turned the corner there, he might still be running. All right, let's go ahead and answer the Aflac trivia question.
So you want me to give a guess?
Just hold on. I'm going to read it again here. Which FBS player holds the record for most total yards in a single game? Go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes against Oklahoma.
How many yards?
820-ish? Is it 820?
Wow, that's really good. 819.
Okay, there you go.
Zion Chris, Gramillion in double coverage, has it picked off by Brendan Jordan. The 3rd takeaway of the night for Texas Tech.
Brendan Jordan playing safety is outstanding, reading the eyes of the quarterback, Chris Gramillion. I mean, right here, just watch him work over the top. Eyes stick with the quarterback the entire way. Finds himself in perfect position and breaks on this football. High points it. And another takeaway for this Texas Tech defense. Coming into the game, one of the best in college football. They had 9 takeaways, 7th in the country. Now 3 here tonight, 12 on the season. They stop the run, they pressure the quarterback, they take the ball away. It's an impressive Tech defense.
Morton's pass too low, incomplete, intended for Douglas. So if you look at quarters 1 through 3, still 3 minutes left in the 3rd, but assuming Houston doesn't get any more points here, Texas Tech has allowed 14 points all year, quarters 1 through 3. Are they good enough defensively to win the Big 12 and to be a factor in the college football playoff?
Yes. Yes, and there's a long way to go in the season, and health is always a big issue. But with the way they can play up front with their defensive line, the linebacking core, that entire front 7, yes, I do believe.
As Dickey is out to the 28. Houston trying to rip the ball away. They finally blow it dead.
I do believe this is a team that everyone's gunning for. This is going to be the team to beat in the Big 12, and they're not invincible. No one is in college football today, and you've already touched on a couple of tough matchups they have coming up. They got to go to Arizona State. They'll have BYU later, and who knows?
And pass deflected and caught by Aiken. It was McCutcheon that got his hands on the ball, but another fortuitous hop for the road team. It's happened a few times in this game.
And a stop for Houston, but if they continue to play the way that they've played to this point in the season, yes, I think that the ingredients are there for a team to make a run to Arlington for a Big 12 championship and potentially make some noise in the CFP.
They've never won a Big 12 championship.
Right. That's correct.
And if they hang on to win here, they would join Arizona State, BYU, Cincinnati, all at 2-0 in league action. Muse under it. And fair caught around the 17. Let's go to Matt Barrett.
Wow. You asked me earlier, could that be the best team in the country? Yes. It's their offensive and defensive line are so good. And Carson Beck has just been fabulous throughout the course of the season. I expected more resistance from Florida State at home here tonight.
Beat Alabama week 1, but now staring at back-to-back losses. Virginia in overtime on a Friday night, and then home against Miami tonight. Chris Vermillion scrambling and picking up the first down out at the 30.
This is a really good job feeling the pressure by Chris Vermillion, because David Bailey is just teeing off on these offensive tackles at Houston. Watch him just work off the edge here. But you see Chris Vermillion's going to feel it, going to step up and climb, utilize good speed and elusiveness to not just evade the rush, but pick up a first down. Well done.
Can Houston get something, even if it's just 3 points on this possession? But a huge smack in the backfield again. It's David Bailey walloping Jamarian Burnett.
The get off, he just times this so perfectly. He's going to shoot the gap and be in the backfield almost immediately. Burnett has zero chance whatsoever, barely takes the handoff before he's contacted by David Bailey. Huge addition from Stanford, as you've already touched on. I was talking with the outside linebackers edge coach CJIU, and he said the ceiling for David Bailey is extreme.
Couple of sacks, couple of tackles for losses in this game. Chris Vermillion running here, and they're going to blow it dead short of the line to gain, but it's 3rd down and 2, so he gets 12 yards there. Would imagine they'll try to run another play here, knowing they're not going to get many possessions again. Try to get one more play before the 4th quarter.
Dean Connors checking into the ball game. Really good downhill runner. Like to see them try to get the ball in his hands. Also a threat to catch it out of the backfield.
Inside 10 seconds to go. They'll snap it. Connors, no shot. Again gobbled up by Bailey. 4th down and 2. Would imagine Houston will go for it when we come back for the 4th quarter. The Texas Tech defense. And he's coming with a blitz. It's picked up, but he got a hand on that pass. Batted down, incomplete. We haven't even seen him really here in the 2nd half, but he makes his presence felt when he's out there.
Well, Jacob Rodriguez, as you touched on, he's going to come under pressure. Picked up well by Dean Connors. And Dean Connors going to step up. But between Lee Hunter inside, the big defensive tackle, and Jacob Rodriguez both get their hands up and get the pass deflection. Another stop for this Tech defense. We've talked so much about the investment made on this Tech defense. Boy, it's paying huge dividends. And you're seeing that return here tonight.
And we talked about in the 3rd quarter, and look, they're not the only team. There are plenty of teams around the country that are investing, but it's just different when it's a school that isn't used to getting a lot of the big name transfers. And again, having big money spent now that it's allowed through NIL.
Hey, it's a part of the world we live in college sports. You got to have resources and tap into those resources. Joy McGuire has leaned into it. Kirby Hocutt has leaned into it. And you know, any schools that has the opportunity to have those resources, they're utilizing them to the fullest.
Aiken catch and run after another missed tackle by Houston. He's down inside the 15. Gain of about 23. First down.
Morton to Aiken, a combination has been called a lot here over these last couple of years. Childhood friends. Aiken actually a quarterback back in high school. It was kind of partially Baron Morton who recommended maybe you should move over to wide receiver. And well, it's been a great decision as he's put together a really nice career as a Red Raider.
Dad is a high school rodeo coach. Aiken another catch at the 10. And down to about the 6. It's actually the rodeo coach at Tarleton State. First of all, I didn't know they had a rodeo team at Tarleton State, but they do. And Aiken's dad is the coach. You knew that, though, being at Lake Dallas.
I did. I'm from kind of that area originally. So, yeah, Tarleton State known for the rodeo for sure, Mr. Pash.
Williams close to a first down. It'll be first down and goal.
And Coy loves every aspect of that. Junior rodeo right there, the big smile as a young kid.
You ever try it growing up?
Absolutely not. No, rodeo not for me.
I think
I'd hog tie you though.
I think it'd be hard to get the bull get you off of him.
Yeah, well, gonna pass on the bull riding.
Baron Morton Oh, hit hard inside the 2.
I'm a little surprised by that play call there for Mac Leftwich. And I know, but Bear Morton is tough. He's tough as nails. But quarterback counter in the red zone up 28-11 when you quarterback with the injury history he has, just a little bit surprised. But one thing about Baron Morton, he's as tough as they come as he takes a big shot and gets right back up.
He was knocked out of the game 2 weeks ago with head and neck injuries. 6 offensive linemen out there on 2nd and goal from the 2. And it feels like every time they've brought in the extra offensive lineman, somebody moves. This is the 8th penalty on Tech in this game.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 89, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
We were asking Baron Morton about all of the pre-snap penalties against Utah, and they actually implemented this silent count this week because they did not feel like they handled the crowd noise at Utah pretty well. Still not using that silent count here today, but clearly still having issues, guys.
Yeah, it's not that loud right now, and you do have some Houston fans in the Houston blue that are still here and still cheering. The pass a little behind. Kobe Williams turns it upfield, and Williams diving. The ball came out. They're going to rule him down, not in the end zone, but down at about the 1-yard line.
Take a look at how close this was. Stretches that ball out. Ooh, I think he got over.
Might have gotten over, yeah. Pretty close.
That is so close. Where is the leg when he stretches?
They're getting to the line, though, so not a chance to blow the whistle to further review it. It doesn't matter now because Williams is in the end zone for the Texas Tech touchdown. Some jabs here and there. We've been waiting for the uppercut from Texas Tech and the knockout punch, and there it was.
It's really good interior blocking. The center, Sheridan Wilson, the right guard, Davion Carter. They're going to do a really nice job here. And you see Carter open up this hole for Jacoby Williams. Just going to follow that right side, lean forward and get to the end zone, and finally cash in on the red zone for this offense.
2 touchdowns today for Williams, matching his total from the first 4 games. And they may review this further to see if he got in.
Previous play is under replay review.
Looked initially like the surge. He got in. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what they're going to take a look at.
His whole body's up.
Yeah, the ball is completely across. This should be a pretty quick look. Unless I'm just completely missing something, Dave.
Well, if you are, we both are, because I saw a touchdown pretty clearly as well. They replaced Taj Brooks, the all-time leading rusher in Texas Tech history, and then Quentin Joyner, who was going to be one of the featured players on this offense, transfer from USC. He goes down with a knee injury in the preseason. And Williams, who played well in the bowl game against Arkansas last year, rushed for over 100 yards. And Cameron Dickey was a high school quarterback. They've been splitting the carries. Also, Adam
Ruling
Hill.
on the field of a touchdown is upheld.
Adam Hill, who coming into tonight, 24 carries. We haven't seen him yet, but they like him as well as a downhill runner. It's his nickname, actually, Adam Downhill. And they've got a pretty good backfield. And we always talk about Texas Tech and their passing attack, but they have had some good backs over the years, and they get good ones here in 2025.
There's balance on the offense, and there's balance on the team with what we see for the offensive production, the defensive production.
Bellinfant on for the extra point. And so Texas Tech, which has felt in control throughout the night, may have just put it away with that touchdown by Jacoby Williams, his 2nd of the night. Back in Houston for our drive recap, covered by Geico.
Well, after the stop on 4th down, Coy Aiken, couple of targets, did a nice job after the catch, getting additional yardage. And then it's Jacoby Williams with a catch, and I actually thought he might have got in here. They didn't take a review and extended look at it, but it's Jacoby Williams hitting it downhill between the tackles for another Tech touchdown.
And the knockout punch. Muse on the return for Houston. And Muse shoved out at about the 30-yard line by McCutcheon. By McCarty, excuse me. So you look at the difference in the numbers, and it does feel like it should be worse than 35-11. Again, they had to settle for a handful of field goals in this game when they got inside the 25.
Well, 2 of 7 in the red zone, and you know, good job of Houston being able to come up with some stops, but it really does mask just the thorough domination we've seen from Texas Tech here tonight.
Zion Chris on the move out across the 35.
Be intrigued to see what we hear for Connor Weigman. Done for the night. We've seen quite a bit of Zion Chris Gramillion. Good athleticism and hit the big play down the field before halftime. Off target there on that throw to Amari Thomas.
And a flag comes down, some shoving after the play. On the perimeter. Between a receiver and a DB.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 5. His first of the game, 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's going to drive Willie Fritz crazy. Down 24, getting an unsportsmanlike conduct.
So up next for Texas Tech, home against Kansas. They don't play Cincinnati.
Right.
They don't play Iowa State. And you got Arizona State on the road, Kansas State on the road, still a tough game.
Sure.
BYU at home. UCF at home at West Virginia.
Look, there's no gimmies in the Big 12. It's a very competitive league. There's no question.
Chris's pass offline.
But the way Texas Tech has performed, the way they've looked week in, week out, and it does not seem like they're slowing down anytime soon.
Right. If they go to
Arizona State, it's hard to look at any of those games and say, oh man, those are, scary. If they continue to do what they do, play their game, they're going to be favorites in all the games remaining on that schedule.
I mean, if they go to Arizona State and do on the road what they did to Utah, how are they going to lose a game the rest of the way?
Again, it's tough to envision that happening. But as Joey McGuire would be the first to tell you, you got to take it 1 week at a time and continue to execute, continue to play every single week.
Fair catch made by Aiken. So the 2008 season was their first 10-win season since 1976. They went 11-2, 7-1 in the Big 12. They had that great win over Texas, 39-33. But Graham Harrell led the nation in passing that year, hitting Michael Crabtree for a 28-yard touchdown with a second remaining in the game. And I'm sure some people are saying, you guys are getting ahead of yourselves, but there's no question that Texas Tech, just watching,
they're for real.
This is more than a snapshot. This is 5 games of dominance.
They're for real. This team is for real. And it's hard to poke many holes in this football team and what they put out there. They're almost 5 full games in.
Dickey running to the left, caught the ball up, and recovered by Houston. First turnover of the game by Texas Tech. Sione Fotu has the football for Houston. Great timing on our conversation about how dominant Texas Tech is.
And it looked like Dickey ran into his own guy. It was a nice job by Vetter coming in. And it looked like as Dickey is running, the blocker in front kind of knocked that ball loose. And the first turnover of the night for Texas Tech.
Based on here's a question for you. Based on what you've seen so far through 6 weeks of college football, With like Penn State losing today, Notre Dame with 2 losses, could we have more than one Big 12 team making the 12-team college football playoff this year?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, there's just so much football left to be played. Ooh, man.
Connors is leveled at the line of scrimmage. Another TFL.
This defensive line is just relentless.
Jaden Sutfield with the hit.
They love him. Sophomore, been playing really well. I mean, it just depends. I mean, you know, if Arizona State beats Texas Tech in a couple of weeks and they run the table, I mean, yeah, anything is possible. Say at this point it's trending more towards 1, but you never know. There's so much of this. We're not even the halfway point yet, Dave.
Cross dumps it off to Dean Connors. Close to a first down as he's pushed out by Wisniewski.
I think most projections you would look at has the Big 12 getting 1 team in, but that's why we play the games, my friend. There's a lot of football left to go before we have to start really having a true sense of that conversation.
They're down and about a yard here. Pressure coming from Texas Tech. And a launch into the end zone. Boy, a lot of hand fighting. No flag. Incomplete pass. Pollock there defensively. And so it's 4th down.
When Pollock turned into the offensive player, it looked like that ball just up in the air. And as he gets in position to try to get his 4th interception of the season, you mentioned the hand fighting.
With Jaquise Martin, who was the intended target.
Jaquise Martin was all over Pollock there in the end zone.
So 4th down. And Chris running it, gets tripped up, but did get the first down at the 25.
Nice job with the quarterback counter. Luke McGarry, their blocking tight end out in front, helping pave a path for Chris Vermillion.
Leaving the pocket. Another helmet comes off. The pass is thrown out of bounds. David Bailey had his helmet come off. We saw that earlier with Lee Hunter for Texas Tech, and he got penalized for continuing to play. You're not allowed to do that.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 59 offense. 15-yard penalty. Replay 1st down.
Demetrius Hunter, you got to wonder if some of this is frustration, some of these penalties and knocking guys' helmets off with the way they've been getting beat.
I don't think this one was. I think his hand just worked their way up to the face of David Bailey. Just relentless pass rush, trying to do whatever he can do to stop him. Skylar Gerhoward again with an excellent rush on the interior. That was a left tackle.
So now 1st and 25. Oh boy.
False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Well, look, this is a team that had to come back from 2 touchdowns down to beat winless Oregon State last week. They did beat Colorado here. Long way to go this year for Houston. Got off to a great start, but as bad as some of the voting has been in the AP this year with some teams, I think they got it right with no votes for undefeated Houston at all. Not even a single vote for the AP top 25 coming into this week. Chris Vermillion running downhill. Nice juke of Brendan Jordan. And on 1st and 30, he gets about 20. Now, this is a much improved Houston team.
I was about to say, I mean, they're a much better team than they were a year ago. It's year 2, Willie Fritz. He's starting to get his players in there. He took over a bad situation, so I don't want to just bury this team here. I mean, they may not have gotten any top 25 votes, but this is an improved football team, and they just ran into a team that's better than them here tonight.
And 4 wins last year, 4 already this year. Certainly progress, and Willie Fritz has done that throughout his career, including what he did at Tulane most recently. Connors gets 1. 3rd and long coming up. 2-time American Conference Coach of the Year, 2 10-win seasons at Tulane.
He's been all over. He's been at all ranks: junior college, FCS, group of 5, now Power 4. And he's won a conference championship at every level of football he's been at. And they got a ways to go here in Houston, but that is the goal. And it's tough to argue with the track record from Willie Fritz.
Again, lost their quarterback due to injury. Connor Weigman, turnover on the first offensive play. Led to 3 Texas Tech points. That pass off target. Didn't look to be on the same page with Broussard, the receiver. So it's 4th down.
Pass rush just continues. David Bailey, Romello Height. And I'm so high on Texas Tech, where I've talked about them so much. And it's not just because I played defensive line, but to me, one of the most important ingredients of a championship team is high-level elite defensive line play. And that's what we've continued to see consistently here from Texas Tech. All 5 games, this defensive line, it's the first thing you notice when you pop in the film and watch it.
Well, you look at the SEC, the Big Ten. Usually the best teams in those leagues are the best teams in the country. As Bailey lost his helmet again, and it's because they have great defensive line play. That's caught by Koziel, but he appears short of a first down. No flag down, but Bailey lost his helmet again. Merriman, the right tackle, knocked it off. But the defense so stout for Texas Tech, holding Houston just 11 points. Well, last year, Jaron Kiabe-Songapolotele had the game-winning touchdown pass for Cal against Boston College. And the true freshman will look to lead the Bears to a win over Duke. That's coming up next.
It's an interesting game tonight, and I'm impressed by your pronunciation. I would have just said JKS. JSN. But Darian Mensah has been great. 13 touchdowns from Mensah here on the season. We had them earlier this year against Illinois. He had struggles since then. He's been really good. Should be a great matchup there tonight, late night in Berkeley.
And what a day it's been here on the first Saturday of October 2025 with some big upsets, although Cincinnati was favored in that game, but still Iowa State ranked 14th. Florida beating Texas, but the one in the middle, how does anybody explain that? UCLA had not led in a game all season long. They're up 20 at halftime. Penn State comes storming back, and the Bruins still win it with an interim coach.
A 24.5-point favorite in that one was Penn State, and they lose. And now the real question becomes, are they going to get in the college football playoff as they get their second loss here in early October? Man, just wild. Jerry Neuheisel, I mentioned earlier, but interim offensive coordinator. That offense hadn't done anything all season, and to put up 42 on that Penn State defense, really, really impressive. Life's about making the most of an opportunity, and boy, it sure seems like Jerry Neuheisel making the most of that opportunity here today.
And then you've got Texas losing at Florida and now having to play Oklahoma. Maybe John Mateer is back for that game. Red River next week. 3:30 Eastern ABC. Jacoby Williams brought down after a gain of 1, 3rd down and long.
It's amazing just here already early in the season, some of the teams that we thought what they were going to be. Texas was your preseason #1 in the country. 2 losses here early October. Penn State, preseason top 3 team in the country. 2 losses early October. Clemson, preseason top 5. 3 losses already before we hit October. Typically, a lot of things stay true to form, but has not been the case here in 2025.
Texas Tech with 480 yards of total offense. They had 350 at halftime. First down for Jacoby Williams. Run out of play at the 39. 18 more yards for Williams, and that should push him over 100 now on the night.
I like the way he hesitates, and then you see the burst. Nice hole on the interior of the offensive line, but between Cameron Dickey and Jacoby Williams, these guys 175 yards on the ground between the two of them. Both catch the football extremely well in the backfield. It's a fun 1-2 punch to watch.
Williams up the middle, slammed to the ground by Miles Parker. And Texas Tech has Kansas next week, then has to go to Arizona State the following week. That should be a great game. Arizona State has 1 loss, but that was out of conference. That was at Mississippi State, a much improved team early in the season.
And Arizona State has had to gut out a couple of victories here in the Big 12. A big win in Baylor that was close down to the end. TCU, where they fell way behind, fought their way back and won that game. They've got some real toughness and grittiness to that team, that program.
First down for Williams. Well, featured on College Game Day today is not only one of the most inspiring stories in college football, but right now in all of sports. Houston Director of Strength and Performance Kurt Hester was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer on February and was told he has 4 to 6 weeks to live. Here we are in early October. He says his blood levels are good right now. The tumors are shrinking, and he's going to work every single day. Has not missed a day.
Incredible. Just an amazing story of someone not going to give up, continues to fight, and continues to pour into these players and this team. It was a very well done feature on Game Day here this morning. If you missed it, I urge you go back and look at it. And we talked with Carlos Allen Jr. about the impact Coach Hester has had on him and the ability and the belief to be able to push through anything that life throws at you. Taylor, he really has instilled so much in all these players here at Houston.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty profound the way that he sat back when we asked the question and thought about just the mentality that Coach Hester brings every single day and how that's inspirational to him. And how could it not be what this guy is going through? And he actually didn't know for a little bit before he was coming to work, and somebody told him, hey, this is what's going on. And he said, are you serious? That guy, really? He couldn't believe it.
And just an amazing story with how he's attacked his recovery and how it's inspired the team. Here he was pre-game getting the team fired up. And a lot of the players and the coaches we talked to, the love they have for him and how he's inspired them. Unbreakable, that's the slogan.
Yeah.
And that's how he's lived these last 7 months after being told by doctors to get his affairs in order.
And he said he is unbreakable, and we think everybody with him in his fight, and as he continues to fight such a nasty, wicked disease.
Coy Aiken on the catch, down about the 30. Interesting, Texas Tech still got all the starters out there, including the quarterback Baron Morton. 2.5 to go in the game.
Stats continue to accumulate. Kind of wonder, is that potentially at play here? You know, but a lot of people mentioned in the Heisman Trophy conversation, Baron Morton hasn't necessarily been one of those, but his numbers now, 12 touchdown passes on the season. He's up over 300 yards in this game. He's going to be somewhere around 1,400 yards at the conclusion of this game.
And also, again, looking for some style points maybe when the committee starts to meet. The bigger your wins. I mean, their closest win was 24 against Utah.
Right.
And it's 24 right now over Houston. But Kurt Hester, thoughts and prayers are with you, my man, as you continue your fight. You've made a remarkable difference in this city.
Time now for the final 2 minutes, delivered by Factor. Time now for the final 2 minutes, delivered by Factor.
Now Cal and Duke underway over on ESPN News. We will send you to that game in Berkeley once we are done here in Houston. And we're 2 minutes away from that. Texas Tech will go to 5-0 for the first time since 2013 when they started 7-0. And they should move into the top 10. The last time they were in the top 10 was also 2013. Cameron Dickey on the loose down the sideline. And out of bounds. He actually stepped out back around the 13. Be interesting to see where they end up in the top 10 this week. They move up just one spot, move up 2, 3.
No, I think they move up multiple spots because you're going to have Texas and Penn State come out. So I think 9 at the minimum, but I think you can move them up higher. There has not been a more dominant team. Now, you can easily tell me, well, they haven't played as tough a schedule as other teams. Okay, that's fair. But given what they've had on their schedule, there's not been a more dominant team in college football to this point. And again, they're going to be inside the top 10, deservedly so. How high will they move up? We'll see, but I think they continue to prove themselves week in, week out. And Joey McGuire knows. He's got a really good football team. He's got good personnel. He really believes in his coordinators, and they brought this team together. This is a team. They've done a really good job with the veteran leaders they had, the new players they brought in. You mentioned it earlier. They just bring in talent. They brought in former captains, alphas, and they have really come together and found cohesion in a short amount of time. And it's going to be fun to watch and see what this team is capable of doing throughout the course of Big 12 play.
It's the culture that they have.
That's right. And that's Joey McGuire.
Yep. And just looking at that upcoming schedule, it's going to get really interesting if, again, they go to Tempe in 2 weeks and do what they did to Utah. First up, they have Kansas. And even before that, they're going to celebrate this one because it's another impressive showing on the road against